2021 has been quite the interesting year for the WWE. Financially, it's been the best year of the company. Vince McMahon's company is generating record high profits, and that is great news for anybody that works for WWE, especially their executives and stakeholders. You cannot say the same thing about the product from a fan's perspective. In fact, it has been absolutely a disaster. WWE has made so many mistakes in 2021, it's actually wild. It's been a tough year to be a fan of the company, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at the 10 worst mistakes that the WWE made this year. Number 10, firing Buddy Murphy. Releasing Buddy Murphy is on the top of this list because it was honestly unnecessary in my opinion. It was definitely a mistake because Murphy was an exceptional talent. Buddy had the wrestling ability, the promo skills, and even the look of a professional wrestler that you wanted in a guy. He could have been easily a top mid-carder and even possibly a big star in the main event picture for the WWE, and I honestly can't find any details on his salary, but I'm sure he was not making so much money that they had to let him go because he was never a top guy. Buddy Murphy had a ton of potential, and WWE releasing him was a mistake, and he's going to thrive in whatever company he decides to sign with. I have a feeling that he will be a great asset, and the WWE should have definitely kept him. Number 9, breaking up the Hurt Business. In the beginning of the year, WWE made the horrible mistake of splitting up the Hurt Business. After becoming the WWE champion, the creative team decided to end the faction and allow Bobby Lashley to become a single star with MVP as his manager, and that was it. And so, Bobby Lashley beat up his two former friends, and the Hurt Business was no more. Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander went back to catering, and Bobby Lashley has been the champion ever since. I still don't understand the purpose of this breakup. I honestly think that WWE should have kept the group together for a much longer time period. They had chemistry and were very entertaining during their time on Raw. It just does not make sense. It was obviously, clearly, a massive mistake. Number 8, The Fiend's WrestleMania loss. At WrestleMania, The Fiend versus Randy Orton definitely under-delivered. The match lasted about 5 minutes and wasn't anything too special. It ended when Alexa Bliss distracted The Fiend, and that is when Randy Orton capitalized on the moment. The Viper landed an RKO and won the match. Having Bray Wyatt lose in this match was a terrible mistake. It should have never happened in the first place. This was meant to be the moment where The Fiend got his revenge for getting burnt alive by Randy Orton, and it was the wrong call and should have never happened. The Fiend should have won the match, and then he should have went on to dominate all of his other opponents after Randy Orton, but sadly that did not happen. Number 7, Alexa Bliss stealing The Fiend's gimmick. What was an even worse mistake after that horrendous Fiend versus Randy Orton match was what happened to Alexa Bliss. She ultimately took The Fiend's gimmick from Bray Wyatt, and to be quite honest with you, I don't like it a bit. I will never like it because it's a lot cornier with Alexa Bliss. Lily scaring Shayna Baszler was the last straw for me. It's never going to connect with me at all. It's just never. I understand that she's one of the highest merchandise sellers right now because of the gimmick, but that just does not sit right with me. WWE really took Bray Wyatt's original creation and idea and just handed it over to Alexa Bliss to make some money out of it. That is just wrong. She's not even doing justice for the character. This entire situation is a mess and a mistake. Number 6, Karrion Kross. 8 months ago, I made a video explaining how I thought Karrion Kross was going to be the WWE's next big superstar. At the time, his NXT run was very impressive. He was the NXT champion, and he had the perfect manager. He had one of the best entrances that we've ever seen, and he had the look for the main roster. But most important out of all, his in-ring work was superb. It was different from most people. Karrion Kross is all about being as physical as he can be to make sure that he inflicts pain on his opponents and it looks real. I thought that WWE could not mess this up. Like, how could you? But I was wrong. They messed up pretty badly. Karrion Kross lost to a washed-up Jeff Hardy in his debut match on Raw, and he's also been wearing a ridiculous outfit during his entrance, and he even lost his wife by his side, and the entrance is whack. They honestly kind of ruined him. It's just another mistake in the office for the WWE. Number 5, firing Aleister Black. Aleister Black was off of WWE TV for several months before finally making his return to attack Big E. That angle was supposed to set up a feud between the two on SmackDown. A week later, and he was surprisingly released by WWE. I will never understand why this happened. This decision makes no sense. Firing Aleister Black was just stupid. It was a mistake that had a ton of people, even within the company, confused. Aleister Black is now a part of AEW, and he's one of their biggest stars. He will forever be a huge missed opportunity for Vince McMahon, because Aleister Black had the potential to become the WWE champion one day in his career, and it's a shame that he never amounted to anything with the company. Number 4, firing Braun Strowman. An even more surprising release was Braun Strowman. This shocked so many people. I was personally in utter disbelief when I saw this. WWE unexpectedly fired one of their bigger stars that was literally in a WWE title match just a few weeks before his release, and he was also in a very big program with Shane McMahon for WrestleMania. Letting him go was a bad decision. WWE does not have too many stars today, and he was huge for the general public, and that's why I thought it was a dumb mistake. Even though the IWC might not love Braun Strowman, he was good for the company. I understand his contract was a little pricey, but he was honestly worth it. Number 3, Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. Becky Lynch would make her return at SummerSlam after it was announced that Sasha Banks could not compete against Bianca Belair. That's when Becky Lynch proceeded to come back, beat up Carmella, and win the SmackDown Women's title in only 20 seconds. And this pissed off many wrestling fans across the internet. People claim that this ruined all the momentum that the WWE has been building up for Bianca Belair since WrestleMania 37. I totally understand their frustration with this decision. However, I still want to wait and see how the story unfolds. But since so many people hate it and believe it was a huge mistake already, I decided to add it onto the list. Number 2, firing Bray Wyatt. The most surprising release in 2021 was Bray Wyatt. When I saw a tweet that said he was released, I literally thought it was a joke, but it wasn't. The WWE actually fired one of their most talented superstars on the main roster. Like, I will just never understand why this happened. It's easily one of the biggest mistakes in 2021. It was downright stupid. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes at WWE, but what I do know is that this was incredibly dumb, and Vince McMahon should be ashamed that he lost this creative mind. And number 1, Nick Khan and John Laurintitis. I think it's important to see what the root of the problem is. All the things that I mentioned earlier happened directly because of Nick Khan and John Laurintitis. Hiring Nick Khan as the president of WWE was a terrible mistake, and bringing back Johnny Ace was equally horrible. These two men have come into the WWE and single-handedly destroyed it within a year. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Let me know what you thought was the biggest mistake in 2021 in the comments below. On the screen right now are some other videos that you should check out if you have some free time, so go ahead and click one of them. I will see you all in the next video.